it all. And they counted on the fact that I would be so shitty to people because I was so upset and I was so freaking leery of everyone that I would push everybody away and no one would want to help me. And in fact, I got stronger and stronger.
Oh, okay, there we go.
A fancy girl. So you've been kidnapped for
Yes.
real?
There we go.
Real? Or,
Yes, for real. I'm not being funny about it. It's
like,
true.
seriously,
Did
though?
did you feel kidnapped at the time?
No,
At the time it
I know
happened?
what was going on. I
So
didn't
what
know.
was
I
going
was suspicious.
on? I'm so confused.
I was suspicious. I was suspicious. My husband was suspicious. My daughter was.
Like, what do you think her intent was?
To keep me
Like
from
Krusty and all them assholes.
Yes.
To
Yes,
keep you
the
what?
minute the minute that the charges came out, Christy through Ryan comes out and says, "Oh, we've seen the video of the 37 seconds of her being in the hotel room, and it matches what the police officer is saying. Why do you have it anyways, Christy? How did you see it? It had nothing to do with you. It had nothing to do with Mike Stanfield. Even he's not a victim in this. That guy is supposed to be the victim in this, not us." Not you.
Say one thing for you. Can I say one thing? Sorry, because I was looking it up. So sabotage is an actual crime, and it's probably federal. So I think sabotage might be the best way to go.
I'm going to let the police decide. The police and the county, the prosecutor will decide what charges they want to bring. I am still working to figure out whether that's I can do it in Kentucky where I live, or if I have to go to Illinois from where we started our journey.
Where is the
I'm not sure.
set?
Sabotage would be like the federal.
Right.
Wait, it stopped playing.
Act with intent to injure, interfere with, or obstruct.
There we go.
I mean, like, literally, that's very more. That's what I say with
But it's not, guys. It's not just that.
Hey,
It's
Fancy,
not
how's the drop in?
Oh. Oh, what? I thought, it messed up. What the heck happened? Okay, I know what's going on. Today. Oops. There we go. I need that. Sorry, first time getting everything up. But I got my disclaimer. Okay, there we go. Now we can go back to there. Okay. Hello, everyone. There we go. So I came live for a couple of reasons because we can talk about a couple things tonight. Yes, there is some BS going down on. I checked to see what was going on Morbid's channel, and I heard Fancy pipe up, and so we got the kidnap story being told live right now, which is funny. Or I did look up. I do remember the Idaho Four case happening 2 years ago. I do. Because I remember them expediting him from Pennsylvania, thinking, how did somebody in Pennsylvania, somebody all the way in Pennsylvania, get busted for something that went down in Idaho? Hey, my 13th hour. Here, did you get the link? Let me invite you up. So yeah, we got a couple things we can talk about tonight. Like you said,
She even said, God, why does this feel like 2019 2.0? But it's on steroids this time.
Are you and Brandy good now?
We're good.
That's what I thought.
I love the comments. Fancy wants everyone to go down with her. I mean, this has turned into all of a sudden now it's Fancy stream. Fancy came up on panel. They were talking about other things. And then the second Fancy starts talking. Somebody says, damn, Fancy's been going for like an hour. Let's move on. Somebody's singing that Brandy song. What a good wife she'd be. Oh. Everything's just funny. Oh, there you are, 13th hour. Sorry, I was staring at funny.
Hey, I'm trying.
Oh, there you are, 13th hour. Sorry, I was staring at funny.
Hey, crap. I can hear you. You can hear
Oh, there you
me.
are, 13th hour. Sorry, I was staring at funny.
Hey, I can hear you. You can hear
Oh, there you
me.
are, 13th hour. Sorry, I was staring at funny.
I can hear you. You can hear me.
How does Morbid do that?
Okay, now I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Oh. How
Okay,
does Morbid?
I can't hear you. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Oh.
Okay, I can't hear you. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Oh.
Sorry, that baby.
Oh, why? What the hey? What's going on now? Did I accidentally mute you? Did I mute me? Did I just screw things up? I can't hear you now for some reason. Why can't I hear? Oh, there we go.
I'm here.
Okay. I can't hear you now for some reason. Why can't I hear? I don't know what's going on with my cam tonight. What is going on with you? Camera? Camera. USB? Maybe this. Jabra, there we go. Then maybe that's why. It needs to be on Jabra. It's not on Jabra. Why won't it select another camera? Come on. Come on. Switch up my camera. Stupid thing. See me. Why isn't it? Oh, I don't get what is going on with StreamYards tonight. So yeah, somebody last stream asked me to look up the Idaho Four case, so I looked that up. If they come in tonight and want to talk about that, is there there was already BS going on Morbid's stream tonight that I was like, maybe we should talk about that. And then Fancy showed up, and then I was like, oh my god, here we go, more BS. Here we go again. It's like, yep, here we go. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. That guy, I played this one guy that that knew Morbid before he's Morbid knew him as Jimmer. And I played him for everybody. And it seems like, because I asked Invader, I said, do you think people can change? And he said no. And I was like on the fence and skeptical at that point because I still wanted to believe that there was, I don't know. Hey, Boudica, what's up? I wanted to believe a little bit that there was like somewhat like I don't know, some little hope or something. And then everybody that doesn't come up on Morbid's panel, everybody that says no or comes up once and doesn't return, he automatically hates and starts to bully. And this guy, he never knew this guy, and this guy gets letters and stuff being bullied by Jimmer because instead of saying, hey man, let's have a cool stream, you want to come up? And instead of being like, let's have a cool stream and giving the guy his free will and chance to say yes or no. And that's what he's doing right now. If you don't come up, or you come up once and don't return and join his little panel, you get bullied. I'm watching him bully everybody who, like, this is becoming cult like between Fancy and Morbid. It is the only thing that's missing is literally Fancy and Morbid completely hooking up, because Fancy does come on Morbid's panel. Morbid never comes to Fancy's panels though, but they don't really share, like, they don't yet. They're still their own separate thing, and Fancy keeps going to Morbid's panel because she needs him, and she's begging him, going, no matter how we feel about each other, guys, we have to stick together. I haven't watched Morbid since they made you cry. Yeah. I check in every once in a while to see what's going on. Like, I checked in and saw that one chick get bullied, and I was like, oh. And then I immediately reached out to her on TikTok. I found her on TikTok. And I was like, all right, another bullied person, guys. Wait, there was something I was thinking about playing. I watched earlier today. It was really great. Was it Fancy? There was something. Oh, I never write things down. Fancy was doing something today. Trying to think. She was saying stuff. Somebody had a small video and was saying some stuff that I was like, okay, we got to go through this dang video. See, I watched a lot. I watched a lot of things today, but hardly any of it was gypsy stuff. Like, I've been stepping off watching the gypsy stuff, and I did watch the Idaho Four stuff. Hey, Angie. And what's funny, what's going on with the Idaho Four stuff is it's kind of like the Scott Peterson case. The cops focused on one guy and one guy only and went after him. They got their circumstantial evidence, not evidence, circumstantial evidence. And we can go over the difference of what See, the thing is America isn't educated enough. Our schools are somewhat educating us, but they're not at the same time.
You got an echo over yourself.
Our schools are somewhat educating us, but they're not at the same time.
And I can't figure it out. You got an echo over yourself.
Our schools are somewhat educating us, but they're not at the same time.
And I can't figure it out. You got an echo over yourself.
Our somewhat educating us, but they're not at the
And I can't figure it out. You got an echo over yourself.
same time.
And I can't figure it out. You got an echo over yourself.
Echo cancellation, mic background. I don't know what's going on. Okay, speakers. It's probably because the speakers, maybe. Because I'm wearing a headset for speakers. Is it that? Is that fix it? Let's see. Settings. Because I can't hear you now, 13th hour. Why can't I hear? Oh, you're muted. Okay, hold on. Hour.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're muted. Okay. Yes, but not out of my headset. Dang it.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're muted.
And now I'm hearing myself.
Yeah. Settings. I gotta.
I'm hearing myself.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'll ask my husband how I can use the headphones.
Trying to think. Okay, okay, Real Tech Audio, that is not my headset, I guess. What is my headset? Test. Yep, it's working. Okay, I'm back on my headset, but I still echoing. Still echoing.
Not for me.
Okay, so it's okay,
Not
I can
really.
hear you better. I don't think I'm echo. Okay, I don't know.
Okay, now it sounds weird. Not for me.
I don't know what's going on with StreamYards tonight.
Oh crap! I'm gonna have to opt out tonight. We're gonna figure this out tomorrow, and we're gonna stream together. Okay? Oh crap! I'm gonna have to opt out tonight. We're gonna figure this out tomorrow, and we're gonna stream together. Okay? Oh crap! I'm gonna have to opt out tonight.
Yeah, I don't. It keeps looping, and it's annoying the crap out of me. Fancy though, there's a creator who follows. Yeah, I'm following the kidnapping drama right now. There is something that went on earlier today that I was watching. I'm trying to find it real quick. It's really good about the kidnapping that I was like, all right, dudes. I was like, we gotta go over this. Because I'm not covering Gypsy anymore. Gypsy's getting boring. Well, it's not that she's getting boring. It's you know what's funny? You know what Fancy just said on Morbid Stream? Get this. Christy purposely wanted Natasha Cooper. They made sure purposely that Natasha Cooper was the first one with the autopsy because they knew as soon as Fancy had the autopsy, things were going to just blow up. Well, where's things blowing up? Fancy, you did get the autopsy. And it's been what? A week? 2 weeks? What? Down from the cutting. Yeah, the cutting board. She did an interview last night with Toddy, and I was like, no. There was stuff I wish I was on that I could have answered for Toddy that Dawn didn't answer. And I was like, oh, come on. I was like,
Echo. Severe echo.
Okay. What is going on? I don't know why they're. I don't get why things are going odd tonight on the stream. Why things are. Get why things are going.
It's not doing it now.
Okay. Every time I put the settings up, it stops. Okay. Boudica's not hearing the echo. Oh man, like I was watching, Toddy One Skip interviewed Dawn with the cutting board. It was kind of a boring interview because they didn't mesh well together. Like they were sitting there just, it was like an awkward phone call. Like, Toddy called Dawn and virtually recorded their first meeting. And they were kind of like, hi, let's talk about this. Sure. And I was like, I wish I was on that with them. I could have maybe helped the conversation get going. Cortisone shot. What is it? And I'm starting. Nice. Hopefully that goes well for you. I used to get steroid injections in my shoulders and stuff because they're really tight and tense. But physical therapy, chiropractors, and those shots, they're amazing. They really do work better than pain pills and stuff. Because I used to be in a world of being on pain pills, and shots and physical therapy and all that was so much better. So that's awesome for you. I'm glad that you're getting that done because, oh man, physical therapy. I never continue my physical therapy after I get home. It feels so good when I go, but it's so expensive too. Oh, maybe it was that or something. There was something I was thinking about. I watch stuff all day long, and then I sit there and go, ooh, maybe the stream would like to see this. But then I don't write it down. I don't talk about it. I like it when Nina also goes back to doing normal stuff. Like she's been making fun of the promise ring with that candy ring, the ring pop. I've been watching her videos a little bit where she's playing with that ring pop and singing songs and being like, oh, baby. Oh, you're having a hard time dealing with it? Oh, wow. Listen, April. Yeah, because I have a lifetime of going to pain doctors and trying to get my pain taken care of without a diagnosis because no doctor's been able to diagnose my pain. Right now I'm stuck in I was getting shots, but it turns out my shot costs $400 now. It's no longer free. So I can't get it anymore. So now I'm stuck. I was talking to my counselor today because now I'm stuck back in this pain world again where I just lost one of my meds and I gotta go figure out what to do now. Been really drowsy. Oh. I know some, well, let's see, let me look up cortisone shots. I know when you get a steroid shot, sometimes you get a little bit of a rush. You get like a tiny bit of you may or may not get a tiny bit of a rush. They don't think that you should drive home after you get a shot. Cortisone shots help relieve pain, swelling. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're most often injected into joints, ankles, elbows, hips, knees, shoulders, spine, wrist. I need to. My counselor wants me to look up medical marijuana. I got to figure out how to get it in.
I can walk you through that.
Because I need to get my card, and it's a little bit hard to get your card here in Utah. But I've been going to doctors with chronic pain for years, so my counselor thinks, okay, Rose, you qualify. You have chronic pain. Go get it. Just go get your card. Medical cannabis, that's what it's called. But there's two things we're worried about. Dawn's worried about me taking too much. And because right now I already have trouble with my body. And when you take certain meds, it takes away your ability your brain to connect with your body and feel things. Physically, mentally, spiritually, you lose connection with your body when you take pain pills. Yeah, Utah is just really strict when it comes to medical cannabis. They don't want to just give it to anybody. I am about 45 minutes to an hour away from Nevada. I am not that far from Nevada. But I think it's illegal to cross state lines with it, though. I ended up failing. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, buses are great and stuff. Utah, Utah, because we're such a religious state, everybody's all up in your business so badly that they're like, fine, we'll let you have medical cannabis. Here, everybody voted medical cannabis isn't a bad thing, but we're going to heavily control who gets it. We're not going to let it has to be medical. They're not going to do recreational at all. And I wish they do recreational, because I just go get recreational card and say, screw pain doctors. I hate talking to pain doctors. I hate dealing with pain doctors. Like, I'm so over the pain doctor thing. I'm so over it. I have been dealing with pain doctors since I was in my 30s, sometime in my 30s, and I don't know. It's been over a decade of hell. Pain pills in Florida. I decided to get good. Yeah, get yourself. I used to be on Loratabs, and my dad was on Percocets, and we used to trade pills and stuff. And I used to take anything that was an opiate. If it was an opiate, morphine, whatever, I didn't care. I'd take it. And then I went to drug court 6 years ago. Got off all of it. And I've been on Suboxone since then. Well, the Suboxone, I was on Suboxone and I hated the taste. They moved me to Sublocade shot. See, this is how America is so messed up. But I was getting it for free between my insurance company and manufacturer's coupons. I was getting it for free. Well, the manufacturer coupon is up. My insurance has changed. And now they want me to pay almost $400 is my cut of the bill after my insurance puts up their money and after the coupon puts up their money. My share is still $400 for a shot that probably costs 25 cents or less to make. So that the total of the shot is over a couple $1,000s. It's an expensive shot for once a month for 28 days. This shot. This is why there's so many drug addicts in America that can't get clean. Because these shots, these things that'll keep you clean, because the shot is the best thing to keep you clean. Because if you're on Suboxone and you want to go get high, just stop taking the strips for a few days. You're fine. But if you get the shot, your body for over 30 days is like, yep, you cannot do any drug or you're going to get violently sick and throw up and whatnot. And yep, it's ridiculous to afford. Nobody can get help. Ketamine is one of the biggest things that cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get a ketamine treatment that costs them 5 cents to make. It costs them 5 cents to make a bag of ketamine, and then they charge you $6,000 for a 3-hour shot, for a 3-hour treatment. And it cost them 5 cents. It cost them 5 cents to give you that ketamine, yet you paid them $6,000 for it. And this is why what Obama did was so bad that people don't realize. Because Obama didn't just give everybody medical care like people have in Australia or Europe or something. No, he put the insurance companies in on it so that the government can pocket off all this. Because the government, yeah, they want to charge you $6,000 for a ketamine shot and insurance to cover and stuff because they're going to get a kickback. And Obama just helped the government get richer by penalizing you for not having insurance. Because Obama didn't give people insurance. He said, there's insurance out there. You have to go get it or you get penalized. Like, people don't understand. Some people don't understand exactly what Obama did. He didn't do anything good for this country. Surgery and oh, wow. I was I could do morphine fine. What?
Hey, guess what?
Huh?
I figured it out.
Yay! What I couldn't do when I came out of surgery, they gave me
Well, no, I didn't. Now I hear everything.
Huh? I don't hear me echoing anymore behind you.
I hear Baby Shark. I hear me. I hear W.
Said he had never seen anyone react to. Yeah, opiates are usually safe, but they did that with me with Dilaudid though. woke up in recovery screaming in pain, and they gave me another Dilaudid shot. And oh my God, it put me in more pain and I was going to throw up. And the doctor's like, she called the doctor and she's like, look, I gave her an extra Dilaudid shot. I can't give her any more. She's screaming in pain. And I was like, don't. I was like, oh my God. And because before, and then 10 months later, I had to go get surgery again. And I get in there and they said it was 7 a.m. and they scheduled me for surgery for 6 p.m. because it was going to be, it wasn't an emergency surgery, but I needed surgery. So they didn't emergency take me back. So they scheduled me and they put me in, they're like, we'll put you in a room and everything and we'll get you scheduled. They said, but in the meantime, to help your pain, they said, let's give you Dilaudid. And I said, please don't give me Dilaudid. I said, last surgery I had 10 months ago, they gave me Dilaudid. I woke up in pain. It hurt really bad. I can't do Dilaudid. I can't do codeine. I don't know why I can't do those. They put me in pain. They make me want to throw up. They gave me Dilaudid anyways because they're like, Rose, we don't like to hand out opiates. And it's like, I know you don't like to hand out opiates, but seriously. They gave me Dilaudid, though. I said, fine, whatever. Shoot me up with Dilaudid, whatever. And for 3 hours, I was holding the garbage can, rocking back and forth, and I was going to throw up. And I was, like, in so much pain. And I was just cuddling the garbage can and crying. Hey, Dawn, what's up? I saw your interview and stuff with Toddy. Welcome in, Dawn. And I'm watching your makeup channels and everything. I like everything Dawn does. Oh, yeah. Fancy's live right now on Morbids, Dawn, and she's telling her kidnapping story again, and it's just insane. Allergic to Dilaudid. Yeah, I don't know why I am, but I am. Kind of like Boudica can't do opiates. Like, for some reason, some pain. They don't like it when doctors don't like it when you tell them you're allergic to Dilaudid and stuff, and they have to give you an opiate instead. And it's like, I'm sorry, but it's just the dang truth, man. And so after that, I went into surgery and they did give me morphine when I came out. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, thank God you gave me. I was like, oh, I feel so much better. I was like, I'm not in pain. I was like, oh, I feel good. I was like, oh, I didn't wake up in pain. I'm like, thank you for not doing the Dilaudid again. They thought I was crazy. It's funny, like people don't like you to just kind of react how you're going to react, and they just think you're crazy for saying what you say. But it's like, if you know your body's allergic to something, I know, like, doctors and crap, they don't like to hear that crap. Got to get baby ready to go home. Okay, no problem. Let us know when you're done getting baby. But there was, I'm trying to find that video that, there was a video that was so interesting earlier about the kidnappings and stuff that I was like, this story is just getting crazier. Fancy's unhinged, yes. Oh, I'm like Toddy. Toddy also told Dawn the same thing I tell everybody else. When I first started in this gypsy case, I was watching like Toddy and Hello Starlight and everything, and then I found out about Fancy, and I went and found Fancy, and I emailed her and tried to talk to her and wanted to meet Fancy, and then the Chillicothe thing happened. And I lost all respect for her. And I started losing respect for her. I didn't lose all respect for her at this point. Like, I was a little upset when Into the Weeds finally sat down and said, okay, we're going to tell our side of the story. Not because when Alora first told her side of the story the night it happened, her side of the story was as I was told. She's like, as I was told, chest bump happened. And she's like, as I was told. And so Into the Weeds is like, no, now we're going to tell our story from exactly where we entered into the story, not as we were told. And when they finally told their side of the story from literally their standpoint, I was hoping that Sarah's case would get dismissed and that Fancy would get charged with coercion or something. And then Fancy came out with the letter to the prosecutor saying, I'll help you prosecute Sarah. And I thought, well, that's really bad. I'm like, now you're really pissing me off. And then a couple weeks later, the kidnapping story comes out, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with this story. I'm so done. And I at one point thought that Dawn was going too hard on Fancy. I wasn't there yet. I was watching the cutting board, and I was going, maybe Dawn's going a little too harsh. And then now I'm like, no, Dawn's not going too harsh. Dawn is fine in everything she says. Yeah, Chrissy, that's what lost it for me too. It's like, I just, coming up with this, Fancy, it's funny, right now on Morbid's channel, she just went against herself. She was telling the kidnapping story, and she said when they got to the diner that she was telling April, or no, it's not April, Sarah. She said she was telling Sarah, you aren't going down the highways I want you to go down. You need to go down the highways or I'm going to call an Uber and I'm going to get out of here. And she was threatening Sarah, and she's like, and I'm packing. That's what she said. She was yelling at Sarah in the parking lot. She said that they were in a hurry at that diner. I don't know. To me, I was on that live, and I was watching them, and they were chilling in the diner eating. And even when people came up to him and asked him what was going on, they were explaining the Gypsy Rose case to the waiters and stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're the experts on Gypsy Rose, by the way. Check out our, channel and the case and what's going on. And then, so she's saying at this point, I need my 13th hour. And then she was sitting there saying, she's saying all this crap now about threatening Sarah and being in a hurry at this diner. And I'm like, I've watched that live, Fancy. You guys were like slowly eating. You dined in. You didn't. I know. I do have the thing though, 13th hour to pay for the StreamYards now though, so that we can get all the benefits and have it for a month and everything. But I'm waiting for the money to hit my PayPal so I can pay for StreamYards. I thought it would hit today, but it didn't. It might hit by Monday. I don't know. Because I made, after like 4 months of streaming on Twitch, I finally made the payout threshold on Twitch today. So I'm like, yes, I don't have to ask my husband for money. I have my own money that I made streaming. I made payout. She's stalker obsessed over Gypsy. She is, Boudica. She could quit this case at any time. At any time she could stop. See, here's the thing though. Fancy can't move on to other cases though. Because, like I said, the reason she can't move on to other cases and why she's stuck on the Gypsy case, besides being obsessed with the fact that Christy is no longer her friend and she watches who's friends with Christy, is she doesn't do her own research. That's what she has her company for. She needs her company to go do the research. Her whole company has to be interested in a change of cases. See, me and Dawn and Toddy, and there's a few of us streamers who will survive leaving Gypsy Rose. If you guys like Disney, Dawn the Cutting Board, she's still doing Gypsy stuff, but she's doing a bunch of Disney stuff on the side too. Because we have other hobbies, we have other things we want to move on to. Because we use our own minds on our stream, we use our own brains. And we don't need to rely on other people to stream. I don't have to rely on somebody else's research to stream. I do my own research. I do my own rabbit holes. Thanks to followers for tips on. Yeah. And like Morbid needs his panel. I realized it a week into talking to Morbid that he needs his panel because that's how he knows the case too. He needs his panel. So to move on, for people like Morbid and Fancy and everybody to move on to another case, they need their little team or panel to go with them, or they can't do it. This is funny, because this is funny. Get this. Fancy tonight said on Morbid Stream that she now realizes that everybody purposely that Fancy, she's so abused. She's heavily abusive. Believe anyone puts up with it. I know. I get how people can handle being screamed at, told to shut up, told F you all the time. You say one thing that Fancy doesn't like, she's like, F you, F you, F you. And it's like, oh my God, oh my God. It's like, we just disagreed with you. Oh, that's all. But Fancy tonight, she's like, I found out that Christy purposely made sure that Natasha Cooper got the autopsy first. Because had Fancy got it first, things would have blown up. Well, I'm like, Fancy, you've had the autopsy. How long has the autopsy been out now? Like, almost about 2 weeks now. That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. The holiday weekend was 2 weeks ago. The autopsy's been out for 2 weeks now. So, Fancy, you've had it for just under 2 weeks. Where is this leading expert that they were afraid of getting a hold of this autopsy? Because what you would say, oh no, she has other people looking at the autopsy telling her what to do. Because Fancy is the face of this company, but everybody else is doing the work for free because nobody gets paid in this company. It's a company where everybody works their ass off, nobody gets paid, and Fancy's the face of and the spokesperson of it. And if you're lucky, like Mac is her little bulldog right now that sits beside her and talks the cases with her. And if you get upset at Fancy, not only do you get abused by Fancy, but she might say, Mac, go after them. They're being mean. Mac, go after them. So she's got her little bulldog. And people are afraid to. Yeah, like me and Dawn, and I think maybe Toddy too. Like, there's only a few of our channels that will talk about Fancy. Nobody else will. They're afraid of lawsuits. They're afraid that, because Fancy is, I was DM'd and warned against talking about Fancy. They said if I talk about Fancy, she might come after me. But right now, Fancy's case is more juicier than Gypsy's. I can't wait. Hey, cutting board, Dawn, I looked up the CaseNet the other day. Sarah goes to court on September 25th, like a whole week before Fancy goes to court. I don't know if you've seen CaseNet and looked up both Sarah and Fancy, but Fancy doesn't go to court till October 2nd, and Sarah goes a whole week before. So I'm going to be watching this closely to see what happens with Sarah. As soon as she goes to court, I'll be checking CaseNet going, what's the update? What's the update? Because maybe they're going to work a plea deal with Sarah before they work a plea deal. Or maybe they're not even going to do a plea deal with Fancy. Because, yes, Fancy is setting herself up right now for a second charge of false reporting, because she's false reporting that she was kidnapped. It's like, Mike Stanfield, come watch all of our channels. We will show you. Even when they got back from Chillicothe, for some reason, yes, Sarah was not answering Fancy's phone calls for a whole day. But she is not a paid employee. So you can't get mad because technically she's not an employee. She's a friend that works for your free company. I don't know. This company's weird because Fancy calls it a company. It has a name. The rumor is the LLC is not paid for, though. That's alleged. The rumor is that it's not even paid for. She's using the company name still on an expired LLC. And Sarah's not answering the phone. But you tell me, why should she expect Sarah to answer the phone? I don't know if you want to come up and talk, Dawn. If you want to, I can put up the link or something. But this is just crazy. Like, thumbs up. Share the stream. And so yeah, Fancy just countered herself on Morbid's channel because she's like, okay, so we're at the diner. I'm threatening Sarah. And then a few minutes later, Hello Starlight asks Fancy, when did you realize you were being kidnapped? Like, okay, at what point on the trip did you realize this is a kidnapping? And Fancy said she didn't until she got back and found out a few things and thought about things and looked at things in hindsight, basically. And it's like, well, I thought, Fancy, like 5 minutes ago, you were just telling us you were threatening her at the diner. But Fancy also said, well, I had nowhere to go. She had me in the middle of nowhere. Fancy, you were at a diner threatening to get an Uber. You were at a diner threatening to get the hay out of there. She didn't realize it until what I saw Fancy say a few days ago on her stream. She's like, I got my discovery in, and when I got the discovery in and saw what Sarah said and reported, it pissed me off, and that's when I realized it was a kidnapping. She got with Ryan and talked over the discovery, and she was pissed at Sarah, and they came up with the kidnapping story after she saw the discovery and got pissy at the discovery. Hey, focus. And so it's like, you can't go look at things in hindsight and be like, Like I said, it's like those women that sleep with a guy and then the next day they realize, I didn't have fun. I didn't like it. They're talking to their friends. They're like, I didn't like it. It wasn't fun. I feel guilty about it. I shouldn't have done it. So then they go cry grape because they feel guilty. It was consensual in the moment, but then they feel guilty later. So they go cry grape because they feel guilty later or something. They're upset later. And so they're like, hey, W, I still need to play 13th Hour's birthday video. She never saw it. I did make 13th Hour a birthday video. We should play her birthday video. I did make 13th Hour a birthday video. It's okay, let me download it real quick. I just got to download it. Download. Okay, let me see. I'm downloading the birthday video. I did make your birthday video. It's just you had a bad Monday. I had a bad Monday. And then Tuesday things didn't go okay. And then we haven't gotten back together to stream yet all week long. Yeah. And so that's what it's like. They call grape later when something happens. Like a week or two later, something bad goes down between you and the guy. Or you and your friends get to talking. And after you're talking about what happened, you spent a couple days with this guy. And then you're talking to your friends about it. And then you go cry grape. And then the guy's life is ruined because you just charged him. And you just ruined his life forever. That's what it's like. That's what this is like. That's what I feel this is like. She's calling grape. Several weeks later, because something happened that she didn't like. And now she's trying to get more charges and get her in more trouble. It's crazy, it is, but I'm covering the craziness. I'm like, I will be a streamer that'll cover the craziness. I'm a small streamer, and nobody like notices me, so we can safely talk about it over here, because nobody notices me. So heard from Sarah. No, she's being very, very, very quiet. She's I've been trying to find the live that Fancy's been talking about, because apparently in the last week Sarah has gone on a live, but Sarah is kind of laying low. Yes, we naughty. I was told not to talk about this, but I'm like, I want to. It's like, that makes me want to talk about it all the more. It's like, I really want to talk about it now. Okay, let me see if I think the video's ready. See if the birthday video's ready. Let's see. Here we go, birthday video. Happy birthday, yo. I was supposed to put 13th hour right there. Oops. I'm like, oops. I don't have any audio. I don't know how to put audio on these videos. I need to learn how to now put audio to it. Because I'm figuring out how to make these videos on Canva. I use Canva. That's how I do all my what do you call it? The thumbnails and stuff. Hey, Chewies! Thank you, W. I wanted it. Yeah, I'm like, we can still celebrate 13th hour birthday later. It'll be fine. I'm like, we didn't get to it Monday, but that's okay. We can celebrate it all week long. Me and Chewies and Pigeons sat there on Discord, and well, Chewies made you a video too. Everybody made you a video. Chewies made you a video. We all sat there talking on Discord while each of us were making you a video. Because Chewies did make you one. I don't know if you saw it. Kidnapping thing came out. Yeah, like when she came out with kidnapping, I was like, what? How did this go from they get back from Chillicothe, and it goes from, you guys don't ask about Sarah, she's sick, leave her alone, to Sarah's not sick, we got rid of Sarah, she's faking things, to then it escalated to she made me, now Fancy saying no, Sarah told me a story and made me file a false police report because she told me. She's like, and then it went to, well, from my angle it looked like a chest bump could have happened, so I believe Sarah when she said, and then the story developed to, and he touched her boob. And now the story's evolved to, he didn't touch her boob, he didn't chest bump her, she made me do all of this, and now she also kidnapped me. That's how the story evolved over like a 2-month period. She kept adding another tiny detail every week to the story until it got to where it is now, where she's got this full-blown I've been kidnapped story. But everybody's like, Fancy, we saw you on the lives. We saw that you were in charge. We saw that you were yelling at Sarah. People at one point, when they were on the way home from Chillicothe, people were so mad at Fancy's live for how she was treating Sarah that people were complaining, don't give Fancy any more money. She's begging for money. She's yelling at Sarah. She's treating Sarah like crap. I understand having chronic pain and wanting to cut a 7-8 hour trip in half and say, let's do 4 today, rest, and do the last 2 tomorrow. It's just sometimes sitting in a car for just 2 more hours is hell. Sometimes just 2 more hours is just hell. But the thing is yeah, Fancy when was gonna go to, and the trip also evolved. So Fancy comes on live and says she's got to go to Chillicothe. Somehow she ropes Sarah into driving her. And because Sarah didn't need to go. Sarah wasn't any part of this. This is Fancy and Fancy's problem alone between her and the Blanchards. And she roped Sarah into it. And then, so the trip started out as we're just going to go to Chillicothe and come back. But then she saw dollar signs. The money, somebody donated $1,000. The money started rolling in. And Fancy's like, oh my God, I can stay for like 3 or 4 or 5 days. I can have a vacation. There's so much money coming in. And so Fancy's eyes started getting bigger. And this is where, Dawn stepped in, with the cutting board stepped in and said, and this is where I started getting torn watching their streams, because he was talking about she's getting this money donated to her. She should be putting half of it in savings. She shouldn't be staying 2, 3, 4 days in Chillicothe. And she should be saving up for a lawyer and stuff in case this goes further. You should use the bare minimum money, go to the store, go grocery shopping, and get some groceries, quit going out to restaurants. And so people were starting to dig into how Fancy should have spent the money. And I was on the fence just watching everybody going, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, she did tell her fans that she was just going to stay in Chillicothe because she is making this. At this point, you're still going, well, Fancy says she's still going to make her video, right? She's still going to make her, or what's it called? Her little screenplay thing or whatever. And she's like, we got to get video of it. Well, that actually only takes one day. Chillicothe is a small town. They only need to at least stay one extra day, if that. Because they could have gone and got the footage after court and went home the next day. They had court for what, 5 minutes in the morning? They had the whole rest of the day to go get their filming done and go home the next day. Because technically, yeah, they didn't have to. And just because Sarah took you on the trip, if Sarah wants to go back to the hotel room because she doesn't feel good and lay down and go to sleep, well, fine, Fancy. Go take a bus or something or walk. It's a small town. You know, you can't get mad at somebody because they don't want to go tour Chillicothe. They would rather go take a nap because they don't feel good. And so, yeah, I was kind of on the fence watching everybody report on the money situation. And that's when everything kind of started going downhill for a lot of people was, okay, you got this money donated to you from fans. Ton of money. A pew pew. And filmed the majority of the trip. Yep. I know, like, okay, like, I remember waking up at 2 a.m. my time, and I'm an hour behind Missouri, I think. Because I think Missouri's Central. So it was like 3 a.m. And I was on that live. And I guess this horrified kidnapped woman who is packing a pew pew says, I'm going to end this live, you guys. I'm tired. I want to get a little bit of rest. And she already starts laying back in the passenger seat, closing her eyes, and she's adjusting herself in the seat, getting comfortable to try and take a nap while Sarah finishes the drive. I mean, that doesn't look like a person who's staring at the MapQuest thing and extremely concerned with the freeways that they're on, if she's laying down and she's going to take a nap and just let Sarah do the drive. Because I don't know, maybe I came in on the live late or something, I don't know. I didn't see Fancy arguing with her going, why aren't you on a highway? This is going to cost us 2 extra hours. Get back on the freeway. I don't want to take 2 extra hours. Yeah, it is rude to fall asleep. This is why I hate night driving, because I don't like my passengers to fall asleep because they need to keep you awake. And if you're a passenger, you need to keep your job is to navigate and keep the driver awake as the passenger. Yep, exactly, Debbie. We're thinking alike. Because when my husband drives, I'm the one in the passenger with my phone in my lap with MapQuest on, and I'm dictating. And my dad's a truck driver, so I learned this from a very young age. I used to sit in the passenger seat of my dad's diesel trucks back then we didn't have phones in the 90s. And so it was a Rand McNally map that I had in my lap. No phones. No, we didn't have cell phones back in the 90s. Cell phones were barely coming around. The only time you got a cell phone is if you were that type of businessman pagers haven't even really came out at this time. And I'd sit in the passenger seat with my dad's big Rand McNally 50 states map in my lap. And I drew these diesel trucks with markers, and I laminated it with tape and cut them out. And I would stick them on every time I saw a freeway exit or something. And I was like, okay, we're here on the map. And I would stick a little truck on the map. 20 years later down the road, my dad still had that Rand McNally map, and he pulled it out, and he still had my little diesel trucks that I colored and laminated with tape. He still had my little diesel trucks taped in his map. To yell at me wants to be a good navigator. You're like, ah. When I turned in, she was asking about the route, and Sarah said she had set her GPS to go around the tolls. Oh, yeah, when you are back east, my dad would do that too. When I had to go to Ohio with my dad, and that's how I learned about toll roads. Is we went to Ohio once. I got to go to Cleveland, and he would take the back roads back by all the cornfields and the beautiful Victorian houses in a diesel truck. We're not in a car, we're in a diesel. And he would avoid the tollways too. Yep, yeah. I wish my dad still had he did eventually lose those diesel trucks. I wish when my dad passed away last year, I tried to find that Rand McNally map, but my brother said that my dad didn't have it anymore, and so I guess he finally lost my little diesel trucks, because when my dad passed away, I wanted those diesel trucks. That was like, that's what was sentimental to me. Nothing expensive that my dad had. My dad didn't even have anything really expensive anyways. But out of all the things my dad had, I wanted that Rand McNally map. With that, when they were on I didn't see her having too much of an issue that, yeah. I mean, I heard the GPS thing going off and telling him where to go, and she didn't put up too much of a fight. Like I said, I saw her say, well, you guys, it's getting late. And I think that was after the storm passed. For a minute there was a storm, and it looked like things were going to go bad for them. Yeah, like, oh, there's 13th hour. Yay.
Hey.
Hey.
Baby
And
went
so
home. I got my tablet back.
You're like, yes, I got my
No
tablet
more
back.
Baby Shark. No more Baby
Baby
Shark.
Shark. I watched
Tomorrow.
have you ever watched The Umbrella Academy?
I haven't seen the new season yet, though.
Well,
I'm
if
just
you
gonna
don't
start it.
if you don't like the song Baby Shark and it annoys you, don't watch the last season.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's because Diego has kids, and because remember he had a kid with. Remember how when season 3 ended, she was pregnant? Because season 4 picks up 6 years later.
It's been a while since I watched that show.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot.
I was surprised. I was on Netflix the other day, and I was like, oh, season 4's on. And then, so basically, every time they drive in Diego's van, the tape is stuck in the drive on Baby Shark. So as everybody's screaming, yelling, throwing up, Baby Shark's playing in the background.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. Everybody's vomiting. Baby shark.
We need to turn up your volume. Let's see. I can help with that. Let's see.
I think that's on. Yeah, that'll be on your end.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. You're up louder.
Okay. Good. Oh man, I am exhausted.
Oh, you're like little ones. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I told my husband I might have made a mistake yesterday because I went to a church activity and I was joking with a friend of mine that invited me to it. Because I haven't had kids in my home for a year, except for recently on the weekends now. Yeah, my house has been like perfectly clean and just perfect. Like,
right. Exactly.
Two people aren't that messy, and it's been quiet.
Exactly. Isn't it wonderful?
Because our homework was to have 5 minutes of silence a week, or is it a day for a week or something? 5 minutes. They want us to get silence meditation time, and she's like, I don't know how to get that. She's like, and she's like, can I trade you, Rose? And I said, yeah. I said, bring your kids over anytime. My house hasn't been torn up in months. and she's like, seriously? And I said, yeah. And then at the end of the activity, she approached me again. She said, are you really serious, Rose? Can I bring my kids over? And I didn't have the heart to say no. I was like, yeah, go ahead.
Of course.
I told Dawn, I said, we might be babysitting here and there now.
That's sweet.
We met her because we didn't have a car and we needed a ride to.
Oh, your husband's name is Dawn?
Yeah.
My adoptive father's name was Donald.
Oh, nice. Yeah. His full name is Donald. His family.
Mine's with Donald Eugene.
I kept getting in trouble in my husband's family because when I met my husband, I met him at work and I knew him as Don. And so for months I've known him as Don. And then he brings me home to meet his family. And he never told me he was a junior. And so usually when you have a junior, you give them a nickname so that they have their own identity. Well, technically, Don's own identity, his nickname was, the dad is called Don and he's called Donald. And see, my mom grew up with a stepbrother who had some mental disabilities or something, I don't know, that was mean or something, named Donald. They called him Donald and not Don. And so my mom can't stand the name Donald. And so I was stuck between the two families because I'm used to calling him Don. So I kept calling him Don, and I would slip up, and the family kept thinking I was getting down on their dad. And they're like, stop talking about our dad. And I'm like, what am I talking about your dad? I'm like, why are you guys accusing me of talking about your dad? I'm talking about my husband.
Dummies.
Well, it's because I'm not saying Donald.
Right. Good Lord.
Because when I go over to that house, he is Donald as soon as we go in that door. And it's really hard for me because I know him as Don. And he like prefers Don. He doesn't like to be called Donald. So, well, we haven't seen him in 7 years, so everything's good. So I don't have to worry about that anymore.
There's that.
Because I tried to get in the habit of calling him Donald, but then that would set off my mom's PTSD.
Right.
Because my mom, every time you say the name, oh, you just got on.
I know, baby. I have to have her again one more day. From 2 to 11 tomorrow.
You have to text me when is a good time to stream with you, because as soon as I get that money in my PayPal, I'm gonna pay for StreamYards. I was sitting there laying there in bed yesterday in the middle of the night. I was up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, how do I ask Don for $20? I'm like, I don't want to ask him for money for streaming.
And then you made it yourself.
Yes, I went and checked because I streamed on Twitch the other day, and a friend of mine subbed up to me and gifted a sub, and that sub he gifted put me barely over the payout threshold. If he hadn't gifted that sub, I was like, yes, thank you for gifting that sub. He put me over the. I checked it this morning, and it's like, awesome. You made payout, Rose. And I'm like, I'm going to do it myself, Dawn. I'm like, I afford it myself. I made the money.
Awesome. That's right. You did. You should be proud.
Dawn's like, as long as you pay your tithing, I don't care what you do with your money.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's awesome. That's really cool. I'm glad that he's very supportive because most men in LDS are not.
He is, but the thing is I do have to just pace my time and prioritize real life over, because when I went viral, and all of a sudden I went from having 75 subscribers to 5,000 in just a couple of days. My priorities flipped. And I really wanted to build a community, and so I was prioritized streaming over taking care of everything in my real life first.
Right. Yeah, you can't be doing that.
I was afraid to lose my community, and now I'm not. I don't care. You've seen them recently leave, and I don't care. Come, go, I don't care. I'm putting real life first. I'll stream when I want to. I'll stream when... I tell Dawn sometimes there's time-sensitive stuff that I need to stream as soon as it's said.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's time-sensitive stuff that it's like, I need to say it first. I need to get it out there first.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's like, no, I learned to prioritize because, yeah, the kids, that was a harsh lesson on me.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Because it made me have to sit here for the last 12 months and totally reprioritize my life.
Yeah,
it's been exactly
your
it's
situation.
been exactly 1 year this week. It was 1 year ago this week.
Wow.
Well, last week, 1 year ago. It happened at the very, very end of August. As we went into September, like. So It's been exactly 12 months now.
Wow.
That I've had to sit here and rethink and reprioritize my life. And like I said, now if they do like to stream, and like you've seen, they do like to stream, they do like to play games. But they do other things. We go to the park often. We do a lot of other things. Streaming is when we come home and there's nothing else to do and we're just sitting there and there's nothing else to do.
Outside, there's lots of reasons to stream.
Well, there comes a point in the day where I can't physically be up all day right now. My body is going out of whack right now, and I don't know what's going on with my body. I'm barely eating. I'm trying to eat things. Things are going out of whack for me right now. My body is like, I don't know what the hell is going on exactly. I don't know.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that, man.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm starting to experience what going into. I'm in my 40s now, so I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I'll have to talk to you in private about it later, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know what's going on right now, and I'm just.
Yeah, we can totally have a private conversation about that. I'm definitely the one you want to talk to. I can help you out.
I appreciate you.
All right,
but yeah, let me know when we can stream together, because I've been looking forward to getting back.
We're definitely going to get together. All this babysitting thing is not a normal thing for me. Okay. It just came out of nowhere because my daughter
Yeah.
I am, because I don't usually get, I don't usually get to see them, because my kids they do amazing. We did such a good job. They don't need us,
I've
So-
also been looking up cult things to be like, oh, okay, what kind of like cult things we want to talk about too. Been looking up all kinds of things
I
when I'm
know all
offline.
kinds of good stuff. I know some
Yeah,
real
yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
I know good stuff oh yeah. I've been
We're
around for
gonna-
a little while too, so yeah.
We're gonna get
Yeah,
into
I
the
sure-
good stuff. Let's see.
Well,
Mm.
if you wanted to go true crime,
Usually when you
I
do
tell you
cults,
what.
it crosses the line of crime because for some reason when people create a
Uh-huh.
cult, they always are breaking the dang law. They can't
Right.
just lay. Well, no, there's some that do break the law, but they lay low. Like I said, there's one right now here in my very own town
Uh-huh.
that
So
has
it's LDS
active-
related.
Well, they're hiding in the LDS church.
Oh
They
no.
And I pointed everybody to the streams to go to. What you want to look up is the We Are the People Utah podcast. No, okay, no, you want to look up We the People Utah, not We Are the People Utah,
Okay.
because
We the people Utah.
Yeah, We Are
We the people Utah.
Yeah, We Are the People Utah is a different stream.
Okay.
So We the People You want to look
Utah.
at it's something about shadow. If you type in shadow, it'll pull it up. We the People Utah. It's a husband and wife. I think they're LDS also. And this cult
it's Utah. I kind of expect it.
Is hiding in our church. There's a big portion of the middle of Utah. They're in our government. They're everywhere. They just run the cities. There are some cities they pretty much, little small towns, they pretty much almost own. And one of them, I went to 6th grade with this boy. His dad was the governor at the time of our.
Hey, if I disappear, it's because my tablet died.
Okay.
Keep going.
His brother, the governor of Utah, his brother is in the cult. And the brother, because he's the governor, he's covering up his brother's crimes. He's covering up his brother's crimes because he's the governor.
Shame on him.
I am shocked and upset to learn how corrupt Utah is. Because people look at Utah as the religious state. We are the state that upholds morals and ethics and all of that because we are religious. It's the way
they look at the Bible Belt where I live too.
Yeah, because if you're not LDS in Utah, which is like 75% of all of Utah, the other 25%, a good portion of that is Christian denomination, which is not far off of LDS. And then you got Catholics also, which are not, we all go off the same Bible. It's just we all have a little bit different other doctrine we have.
Right.
But so the majority of Utah, almost 100% of us is we're just Christians here. And we got this big old cult that's been growing since like the 60s or something in Utah, just slowly growing. And be prepared if you watch We the People Utah, because when they go over the court documents and describe what's happening to these children.
Trigger warning, huh?
I mean, you have to have a really strong stomach for what they're going to tell you that they did to these children.
Oh, I do, because I lived it.
Yeah.
I lived it.
I hope you don't get too triggered, because what they describe.
Well, I don't. I don't. What I went through is so bad that it's really complicated to find scenarios that are worse than what I went through.
Go
Because
to
I
the
don't.
people you saw. Look at the
Yeah,
shadow.
I went through something that
Yeah.
that was called hardcore, and just write that down, hurtcore, and then
Hurt okay.
hurtcore, and then look it up, and just look up the description of it.
Or court. Or what?
Core,
Core,
like
C-O-R-E?
an apple.
Core. Okay.
Yeah, like
okay.
an apple core. Hurtcore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. If
Because
you don't know about it, it's going to disturb you bad.
Yeah, these are like, I cannot believe what is going on in Utah, and I tell my husband, I'm like, I don't know how these guys do this and sleep at night and go to church on Sunday and sing in our choirs. I mean, everybody knows the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Everybody knows
because they're monsters.
Yeah. It's like everybody knows
Because
the Mormon
they're
Tabernacle
monsters.
Choir.
Yeah.
Everybody looks up to
And
the
it's
Mormon
beautiful.
Tabernacle Choir. Yeah. But these
I don't
people,
look up to it, but I think it's beautiful.
Dawn showed me
Because-
this like the day before conference weekend. And so conference weekend, I was just scanning as the camera panned over the choir. All I could look at is be like, some of these people are horrible. I'm like, I don't know which one of these people singing in there are horrible.
You never know, Rose.
No.
God, you never know which one.
And I will never
know they are. They look like everybody else.
Conference weekend, I will never look at the Mormon Tabernacle Choir the same again. It's
I'm so sorry, honey.
Because you're looking at
because
this
I
beautiful
know that you
choir.
love your religion.
Well, and to get
And
into
that hurts me for you.
To get into Motab, there are special requirements. You don't just get to sing and get in. Oh yeah, you got to voice your in. Like, I hear it's hard to get into this
I have
choir.
5% left, just letting you know.
Okay.
And I love you if I go dead. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You too. Yeah,
but I'll talk to you till the very last second.
To the very last.
Until it dies.
Till it dies.
Until it dies,
but yeah,
girl.
This is the crazy part about cults is some of these people look very,
and finding
very
out
normal.
that the church that I was raised in is a freaking cult. I would never have known.
What
I literally found Church of Christ.
Okay, Church of Christ. Okay, I've heard of
them. It's based around status and money.
Yeah, I've heard of Church of Christ.
Yeah, that's all they care about is status and money.
Well, that's what most cults are for. It's
exactly
like NXIVM. They just want you to take their classes. Scientology.
Yeah, but they were torturing. NXIVM, they were torturing people too, though.
Oh yeah,
and it was a sex cult.
They were talking about how she came up with the branding with Keith Raniere. And she's like, we'll brand them and we'll whisper in their ear. Yeah. We'll whisper in their ear and make them scream.
That's horrifying.
I know.
That's horrifying.
Like, first they're branding you, and then they're putting you in
It's like a session at McCaney Manor.
Yeah.
It's like a session at McCaney Manor.
It's horrible. Like, they're like, we're gonna whisper these horrible things in your ears as we put you in pain until you scream.
Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. You're not.
Not today, Satan.
Today. I'm bleeding Satan. Not today.
And it's crazy how people join these and do this.
It's stuff that people do, man. People.
Like, I sit there and think of, like, Jim Jones. What would you do if you were standing there and they're like, drink the Kool-Aid or we'll shoot you either way, you're dying?
Oh, girl, have you heard the recordings?
Like, I don't know if I could. I've heard some of them. It's like, I don't know if I could.
You can hear them forcing the babies to take it. And you have to understand what the poison they used was cyanide. Okay. Now, I don't know if you know anything about poison,
Yeah, a little
but
bit.
there's something called the signature cyanide scream. And
Oh.
when you die from cyanide, it is so painful because
Well, it
every
rips through
muscle in your body
every organ bleeds and
tightens
stuff.
up.
Yeah. Everything bleeds
Every
inside.
muscle tightens up, and your body forces all of the oxygen out of your lungs, and
Oh.
it's called the signature cyanide scream, and it's a fast exit of oxygen leaving the lungs, and it's a scream because of the pain. So those people were forcing that down babies' throats and torturing them to death. That was a torturous death for everybody. And when they were doing it to the elderly people too. They were forcing it down their throats. They didn't want to either. And that man, that bastard, put a bullet in his had another member put a bullet in his brain. He didn't even drink the Kool-Aid because he knew how painful it was going to be. Because I'm telling you, that is probably one of the most difficult things that you could ever listen to is the way that Jim Jones, because it's all there. It's all there. You can hear him telling them to drink it, to do it, and listening to everybody cry and the children screaming, and it's awful. It's god awful. It's just it's bad. It's one of the worst things I've ever heard. That and I think the worst thing I've ever heard is the recordings from the Toy Box Killer.
Oh,
those are the worst ones in the world. The Toy Box Killer, that's the worst recordings I've ever heard in my life. That's absolutely horrific.
The Toy Box Killer? Let me write that down so I'll look at it. I'll look them up.
And when you listen to that, do not make sure your children are not anywhere near and talk about a trigger warning.
I won't be streaming Sunday, and they'll be here Sunday, so Sunday I'll be spending Sunday with them.
All right, that's fine. We'll get together Monday, one way or the other. We'll do it Monday. We'll do a stream and we'll talk about a topic
we're
between now and then.
That my mom is going to let us take them to church, so that's
that's great. I'm so happy.
My mom's husband, we usually get him on a Saturday, but my mom's husband tomorrow, they need to be home before dinner time because it's they have family dinner. I don't know, once a month or something. I don't know. It's his family dinner. And my mom's 1%. Like, well,
yeah.
And so my mom's like, you can have him on Sunday. And I was like, yes. I was like, we'll pick him up 7:30 in the morning because we have church at 9. I'm like, have him ready for church by 7:30 in the morning. We'll be there.
I love how excited you are to get them. You are the best mama. You're a great mother, and I'm very proud of you.
I wish I would have recorded like my counselor session today and stuff and played it for you guys because thank you, I appreciate it because like my counselor, she's been with me for 5 years. She knows what a good mom I am. She is so mad at all this going down right now. My counselor is like, she's trying to write letters to the judge and get the judge to give the kids back. She's trying.
It's gonna happen.
And now she's my husband's counselor. She through all this, she took my husband on, and she's trying. She's trying.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Your husband is seeing a counselor that is a woman.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting and impressive.
I trust him.
Oh no! Yeah. That's not where I'm going.
Oh,
the fact that it's a patriarchal religion and he's taking advice from a woman.
Well, I think maybe we'll have to have a conversation on the whole patriarchal thing. Like,
I don't think I understand it.
The men don't exactly. Well, Dawn's dad tries to do that. Like Dawn's dad is, I am the
I
dad.
think
I am
I'm
the patriarch.
understanding the
You will
trad wife thing too much.
You will respect. Dawn, see, this is you. This what you are thinking is probably the Utah Mormons, where
Yes.
like Dawn's dad is like, you respect me because I am the patriarch, and whatever I say is true. You believe it. You follow it. You do not tell me no. Dawn's dad doesn't like it because I disagree with him. I do tell him no. And because
I'm so glad that okay, so you have a voice in your relationship.
if you're there are
You do, personally.
in my personal
Okay.
relationship, yes, I
Good.
do. We're equal
Good.
when it comes
That's what
to
I'm
decision
asking.
making.
That's awesome. That is amazing. Good. I support that so much. I was so worried that you were in the other type of relationship. You know what I mean?
No.
And I was biting my tongue. I really was.
One of the reasons why I married my husband is
because he wasn't that way.
Yeah, when I was dating him,
Yeah.
or before I started dating him, and I was talking to him, getting to know what kind of man he was, he's an
Yes.
extremely patient guy. He's one of those that it
Yes.
takes a lot to upset him. He doesn't have anger. He doesn't get mad at people. He doesn't
that's
hate
wonderful.
people. He's very understanding. If you do wrong, he says, as long as you turn around, you repent, and you start doing right, then it doesn't matter what you did wrong. As long as you change your pathway and keep going. It's when you do wrong and you refuse to change.
That's just good morals. That's just good morals. I mean, that's good morals. I mean, I'm an atheist. You know, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in the devil. And I have good morals.
And that's what matters, though. Because, like, when I met Dawn, I said, okay, I'm going to be honest with you before you date me. Because I had a baby at 17. I got married. You know, I
had a baby. I got pregnant at 16. Had my first child at 17.
Nice.
We had so much in common.
Yep, I got pregnant. My birthday's in August, and so I turned 17 in August, and I got pregnant in August. So somewhere on the line of 16, 17.
Yeah, and mine's. Yeah, we have a lot in common.
I know, it's crazy.
That's cool.
And so I told him, okay, so I'm coming from, you know, I've had premarital sex, I got married, I just quit my job.
We both quit.
I just quit my job as a stripper. It's like,
I didn't do that, but you know,
well, you were in that.
I'm
that was bad enough.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
But
it's not bad.
I was sitting there telling him, like, look, I'm coming from this life where I'm coming from this life where I'm not doing any good right now. I am not. And I told him, all I want to do is change my life and do good. I said, I've watched my dad give priesthood blessings. I know that there is power in the priesthood. I know. And I said, I want to marry a priesthood holder. I need that in my home.
I love that. I love that. That's beautiful.
To have a man who has the priesthood and to be able to rely on your husband in that way, it's not a horrible patriarchal thing. But women are starting to look at it like, oh, they have a power. It's not a power, guys. It's not a power at all. It's I wish my husband would come on here, because I should have a day where my husband comes on here and explains to you guys
and I would
exactly
love
what the
that.
priesthood is, and explain to you it's not a power, even though people call it the power of the priesthood or priesthood power. It's not a power, guys. It's not like you get this magical power.
Right.
What it is when a priesthood, when
it's a station. Is it more like a station?
Here, let me explain this to you. So if you ask my husband to give you a priesthood blessing, so you set a date and time with him, because he needs to know a date and time, because hours prior to the blessing, he needs to prepare. He needs to be spiritual that day. He needs to have nothing but a spiritual mind, and he needs to be in the right mindset where God will speak to him, because every word he speaks in that blessing is from God. It is not from my husband and his thoughts and his mind and what he wants. He's got to.
I
So
see.
he spends all day reading the scriptures, whatnot, doing what it takes to be in that spiritual mindset, to have the Holy Ghost there that will, and that's what the priesthood is that constant communication with God, so you could guide your family, because you are the head of your family,
Right.
and you sin, your family sins. You're righteous, your family's righteous. That's what a priesthood is.
So what you
It's no
do,
power.
what you do reflects on your family,
Yes.
or your family is a reflection of you.
Husband to get on here. Okay, I will ask my husband, Angie. I will talk to him because
we would like to have a respectful
yeah, because he will tell you it's not this magical power. It's not this magical power to have.
No,
it's not this power.
No, I didn't expect that. I'm more down to earth than that. I'm far more down to earth than that. Yeah.
I will ask him.
I want to know the details because I find it absolutely fascinating. I just like to learn about different religions because I think they're all beautiful as long as they don't hurt anyone.
They all are. And I do hate that people, and there are some people like my husband's dad who do give the priesthood a bad name. That make it look like.
Well, that happens in every religion.
Yeah, every religion does. But my husband will give you the good on it. He will not. He does not have power over me. He does not have. I have my job, my role as a mom. Females Females are built to be mothers because your husband. You know that guys struggle with emotions, but women don't, and so. It's the females. The reason why the females take care of the kids is because we have that emotional connection. We have that emotional connection to children. Whereas,
before this dies, my husband, his viewpoint is very fascinating.
Okay, we'll have to have our husbands on.
My husband is on a different level. My husband worships me because he believes that the womb is God.
Yeah.
The womb is God.
Well,
and that's his viewpoint. So he holds the women in his life at the highest.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
We have a matriarchal family, and that is by his choice. And he's a strong alpha male.
I'll have to explain to you something offline why I kind of see things that way too. But no, I see what you're talking about.
My husband says God is a woman's womb because it produces humans. What else does that?
To answer your question, Christy, I grew up. My mom is a convert to the church. She met my dad, and she didn't even know that the LDS religion existed until she met my dad. My dad comes from Mormon pioneers, so it's, in their blood.
Oh, wow.
My dad actually does come from
old school
Mormon pioneers. And so I was raised in a home where my mom was converted, and so we weren't very strictly religious because we didn't because when my
that
mom
answered my question.
By the time I was born, I'm my mom's third child. She was baptized by that time, and her and my dad, they were homeless for the first half of their marriage. For the first little bit of their marriage, they struggled where to live, get a job until they finally settled in Utah. And by the time I was born, they started getting better established and going to church. And then by the time my youngest brother was born in 1985, we were finally going to church all the time.
I remember 1985.
And so I grew up in a very lenient Mormon home that we were kind of learning.
So you were not raised to believe that your children belong to your husband, and if you leave your husband, you will not be reunited with your children in heaven because they belong to him.
There's a whole different thing on that, because what you're talking about is you're talking about the sealing power.
What about quiverful? Is that something y'all do?
What? Is it what?
Quiverful?
Quiverful?
Maybe that's
I've
not.
never heard of that.
That may not be Mormon.
Okay.
It's like a quiver full of arrows. You build your own army.
Okay. So
now, do you know what I'm talking?
Kinda. My husband grew up in the Utah Mormon kind of family, born under the covenant. His parents were both raised LDS. They met at an LDS event. They got married 3 months later. They say that they got married. So they got married 3 months after they met, and they immediately got pregnant with my husband. But I think they got married because they got pregnant, and they're lying about.
Yep, shotgun wedding. Shotgun wedding. Gotta have that.
Because why would you? Why? If you're in your mid-20s, why would you marry somebody 3 months after you met him? Like you've dated other people before, and
I don't know.
Why all of a sudden
I told
you
my
rush to
girls
a wedding? And then apparently my husband was born.
I told my girls. I said I when they asked me, Mom, do we wait until we get married? And I said, I was not going to marry a penis that I didn't know. I'm sorry.
See, I struggle with that because my faith says wait till marriage. But my logical mind says the same thing as you, that don't marry somebody
that you're not going to be happy with them.
Unless you sexually connect.
And you cannot know that unless
you try it.
I think
it's really hard because
I think religion is, one of my family members, a real old one, somewhere along the line said, we're all going to the same place. We're just going to arrive on different trains.
But we are more matriarchal and
Does that make sense?
What? Sorry, what'd you say? I was reading Chrissy's thing. What?
Oh, I can't see the mess. I can't see the chat. I'm so sorry, chat. I can't see you guys. But I love you all there. But what was I saying? Crap.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in chat help me.
But my husband grew up, in the Utah Mormon family. By the time he was 19 and went on his mission, he had read the Book of Mormon 20 times.
Wow.
They went to church every Sunday without fail. They took their callings without fail. His dad was a bishop.
Oh my gosh. My
husband grew up in a very
Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night.
When I met my future father-in-law, he was in the last 2 weeks of being a bishop. He'd been a bishop for just over his 5-year term, and they were getting ready to release him.
Hang on, this is not trying to die. Hang on. I'm still sitting at 1%.
And so, my husband.
It wants me to stay.
Saying something about going to same place, just in different trains.
Oh yeah. Someone in my family always told me, somebody in my life said, we're all going to the same place. We're just arriving on different trains.
Well, me and my husband believe that every religion has truth in it. But like I said, it has to
with all the commonalities around the world.
Yeah, we all believe
there has to be.
Christians don't want to admit it, but we all believe in the same Jesus, you guys. Okay, we all believe in the same
Jesus. Yeah, okay?
Duh. We all believe in that Jesus.
Yes, you do.
You believe in the Jesus that died on that cross. Okay, we all believe in the same Jesus. Okay. Just like one of the things that separates the Mormons from everybody else,
that God is. That God is not just the same God. I mean, who's to say he's not?
The thing that separates Mormons from everybody else is we believe that there's God. Jesus is his son, a whole separate spirit, soul, and person. And
the Holy Trinity.
And then there's the Holy Ghost who has no body. It's that spirit that speaks to you. for God.
Okay. Oh, I understand. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. That makes sense.
Because
Thank you. That makes
when you
complete sense.
when you get baptized, right after you get baptized, we do what's called confirmation and give you the gift of the Holy Ghost. It's that little spirit inside of you that constantly whispers.
Aw,
And as long as you are righteous and going down
that's
the right
kind
path,
of a really sweet concept.
yeah, as long as
That's
you are
it
righteous
is.
and going down the right path, as long as you are not sinning, it will be
Right.
there to guide you to. And when you pray to God, it will give you like that warm feeling in your chest when you are doing right. It will give you feelings
The same thing
when you're
that
doing
I
wrong.
feel when
It is,
I'm worshiping
yeah,
nature.
yeah. When you're
Yeah.
worshiping nature, it will tell you.
Oh, yes.
It's that
It
little
comforts
intuition
me.
inside of you that tells you
Yep.
you are on the right track. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. God is happy
Correct.
with you. As long as you feel that, then God is happy with you. But
Well,
when
I'm
you
glad
stop
that you
feeling
feel
that,
that way.
yeah, when you stop feeling that, when it disappears, that's when you kind of got to worry because you're like, am I doing wrong? Why don't I have the spirit with me?
I just
Why
just
is it
blame
left?
it. I blame it on retrograde and the moon, and I just take a nap.
Kind of figured it
Light
was
some
all the same
candles.
God, different, yeah. But it technically is the same God. It's just some people see it as one.
Yeah.
God is Jesus and the Holy Ghost. It's one person, but we
You're
give it like
either
3 different names.
polytheistic or monotheistic. You're one
Yeah.
of the two. Yeah.
And so,
Or you don't believe in anything at all.
most born again Christians believe in the one. And I don't know how they believe in the one because I mean God keeps saying how
I believe
Lucifer
biblically it's canon that it's three.
I mean, because in Genesis, God talks about, Lucifer and Jesus being two separate people from him. Just as Lucifer
Yes,
is a
that's
separate
correct.
person from God, Jesus is a separate person from God. They're both his
I know
sons.
you're going to find this crazy, but I love the Bible.
Yeah,
I love
because
the Bible.
Lucifer means the morning
It's a
star.
great read.
Lucifer used to be one of God's beloved.
Oh, honey, I'm very familiar with Lucifer, and
But him and God,
I'm a big fan. I'm sorry. I feel so bad for him because all he wanted to do was worship his father. All he wanted to do was worship his
father. The hard part is God wanted
sad.
God wanted to send us to earth and give us free will and make us choose to come back to him and have faith. And Satan's like, no, God, when you send him to earth,
no, not Satan, not Satan, Lucifer. Satan and Lucifer are two different people.
Lucifer wanted God to not hide in heaven from everybody and have them believe in him by faith. Lucifer wanted God to be out there front and center, like a helicopter parent. He wanted God to be a helicopter parent, not the parent that lets you go outside and come home.
I say, okay. I like the way you're putting this. You should be.
Well,
you should have been a Bible school teacher.
Here's what technically Mormons believe: God's time is very different than our time on Earth, because our 80 years is actually only like a couple hours to God. We literally walk out that door and leave God for 2 hours.
As a child. I was told that as a child.
Yeah, we leave God technically for 2 hours. We do, but for us, it's 80 years.
Oh, y'all actually have a number.
Well, like it's not perfect.
Or are you, or is it an example?
I'm giving you an example. I'm giving you a guesstimate.
Oh, okay. Okay. My bad.
Like around 25 years is around a half an hour to God.
I see what you're saying.
And so when we die, because we only use 10% of our brains, when we die, we'll have 100% of our brains back. We'll remember our father. I'll remember you, 13th hour. You never know. Maybe we were really special friends in heaven, and that's why all of a sudden we met on earth and we're so connected.
I am a 100% believer in reincarnation. 100%. I believe in reincarnation. 100.
when we die and go to heaven, I might be like, oh, 13th hour, I remember your soul. You know, because we are
I
we're
want to
all
believe
connected
that.
up there in a way.
I want
Because,
to believe that.
Well, that's why some people
You don't, and I don't think
believe
people
in
really
soulmates.
understand.
Like, they're like,
I
why do I
want-
feel like my soul is connected to this person? And it's because
Right.
if you believe in the pre-existence, the war in heaven, everything, the pre-existence, that we existed as a family with God before we came to earth, then I knew you.
I believe. Well, I believe that our energies were somewhere. I believe
we didn't
we're made
have
of
our
star
bodies.
stuff.
We were
No. Oh,
little
no.
specks.
No.
We were little.
Yes.
I forgot.
We're just
I'll have to
star
ask my
stuff.
husband. I'll
We're
have to
star
ask my
stuff.
husband what we call it. But
Yeah.
we
Oh,
were
okay.
just
We're just stardust.
little filaments or whatever. We were just matter, like
Yes.
not. We were just little balls of matter that knew each other, that had a consciousness.
I you know, scientifically, I love that. I love that scientifically.
But that's
because
what we came to
I
Earth.
love the scientific part.
But that's what we came to Earth for, was to gain a body. We put our souls into a body, and now we have a body. Because when Jesus comes back and reigns for 1,000 years, we're going to live in this body with him.
Says. That's right.
We're going to have this body with him. We came down here to get a body.
The Jewish people believe that hell is on earth right now.
Well,
did you know that?
Gosh. This is going to get into some deep doctrine right now. Like, I could tell you something that could possibly blow your mind if this really does happen. What me and my husband are talking, we talk about off stream. Because did you know that the Bible used to be bigger than it was until 100 years ago? They cut a big section out. They cut the Apocrypha out.
Yes, the Apocrypha. Yes.
So if
I am very familiar with the Apocrypha.
Get the Apocrypha. Read.
I've already read it, baby. I read the Apocrypha before you were born.
Ezra's eagle.
No, that's a joke. Because you're 40, right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm 43.
It was a joke.
Ezra's eagle is happening right now. We are almost to the Antichrist. To the heads are about to wake up. We are almost done with the contrary feathers. Ezra's eagle.
I'm going to say something right now. I'm going to say something. If that is true, I'm going to say this right now, and I don't care who I upset. I do not care who I upset, but I'm going to say one thing right now. I have seen evil. I have witnessed evil. I survived evil.
Yeah.
I know evil when I see evil.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Antichrist is real, it's Donald Trump. And I'm telling you that right now. That man is
the Antichrist is,
and he's here.
No, they're part of the deep state, and they're hiding right now, according to what my husband's been telling me. Because the Antichrist,
I believe it's Donald
is
Trump.
going to be the Antichrist is going to be a smooth talk. No, Biden, Trump, and Kamala might be the three contrary feathers right now. They are not going to make it to January 20th. They will the deep state will take them out somehow. Donald Trump is after the deep state right now. He was president for 4 years. He ignored the deep state. And then after he was done being president, he realized, I shouldn't ignore the deep state. I let communism rise because I ignored. That's why he wants to be president again so bad. Because he's like, I'm getting that deep state. I'm going after the deep state. And the deep state is scared of Donald Trump. Because the first thing he's going to do when he gets his presidential powers back is he's going after that deep state. And he's going to shut them down. And he does want to bring America back again to some goodness, because the deep state is out there trying to ruin it. And they're using, and I'm sorry to all these minorities out there, different types of minorities, whether it's race or sexual orientation or whatever, the deep state is using everybody right now to bring Marxism about, and they don't care about you. They just want you to bring their ideology about.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about this country.
Apocrypha. I think PHA
PH.
at the end.
Yes.
Because she's almost got it. Apocrypha.
PHA.
Look up Ezra's Eagle. What you want to look up, you want to look up Michael Rush is who my husband.
Yeah, they actually found the Apocrypha or the Dead Sea Scrolls, that they actually found these Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Catholic Church refused to allow them to be put in the Bible.
What it is, Chrissy, is
proves
Ezra.
That we don't need the Catholic Church.
Oh, interesting. Because
yes.
Chrissy, what it is, yeah, Apocrypha, like that.
The Apocrypha.
Daniel is a prophet in the Bible. Ezra is Correct. Daniel's brother. And God gave Ezra and Daniel each a piece of a dream of the future of that will lead us into the second coming. And we are heading into that second coming right now, but Ezra's Eagle has to play out first. If Ezra got the correct dream and correctly interpreted it from God, if Ezra's Eagle is correct, be prepared in the next 3 years for some crazy shit to go. Because the Antichrist, my husband is saying, is around 2 to 3 years out. March 2026, things are going to start happening.
Think so?
My husband, oh man, I told my husband, you want a platform? I have it. Go come on my streams. Say what you want to say. Because my husband's like, how do we get this out? How do we help people? How do we wake people up? How do we get people? My husband wants to save as many people as possible. He wants to wake people up and get them to see what's going on right now.
I personally want to keep it separate.
Well, and I know he's Mormon, Chrissy, but watch Michael Rush talk about Ezra's Eagle. My husband believes a lot of what Michael Rush says. A lot. He doesn't believe Michael Rush 100%, but Michael Rush is on a good track right now of interpreting Ezra's Eagle and the Apocrypha.
The Apocrypha are amazing. It was interesting information. It was absolutely interesting information. And I read. When did I first read? I first read the Apocrypha 25 years ago.
Yeah, my husband bought the Apocrypha a few months ago, because my husband thinks that the kids being taken was a sign and a blessing from God, that we are going to get the kids back, but we need this moment to wake up. My husband says he doesn't know why God wanted him to wake up, but God did want him to wake up and see this. And I'm
stepping away for a moment. I'll be right back, babe.
Okay. And so, but I mean, my husband I tried to wake my husband. I kind of woke my husband up a little bit to what was going on in the world, but we didn't wake up enough until after the kids were taken. And then after the kids were taken, our life got pointed down different directions that led us into, because my husband grew up in that deep Mormon family. He does know deeper doctrine than I do. And I'm learning from him right now about deeper doctrine and stuff. And the Apocrypha is part of that. Like, the Bible is so huge. Like, the Dead Sea Scrolls and everything, there's so many of them. There were so many prophets out there. There's people like Ezra, who is the prophet's brother, who was religious and spoke for God too. And so there's not just prophets out there that are in the Bible that spoke. They have, like Moses had a brother. Nobody talks about Moses' brother, Aaron, because Moses didn't know how to talk. God chooses people that are not perfect to be his prophets. Moses had a problem with speaking. Aaron had to speak for him. So people don't talk about the prophets and their families, because I think it was Job or somebody else also had a problem with talking. Like, there's a couple of prophets that God called that weren't very articulate and everything. Joseph Smith was an uneducated 14-year-old boy. He had a 6th grade education. You know, he chooses people that he doesn't choose perfect people. God doesn't go out there and go, okay, you're perfect, I'll have you as my prophet. He takes imperfect people and he tries to change their lives and makes them like, he takes imperfect people. And so it's okay to be imperfect because God loves everybody, including his imperfect children. And his imperfect children, all he does is want to put his hand out and work on you. And say, okay. And you just gotta be open to look for the signs in your life where God is trying to point you. Like I said, he had to get drastic with us and our kids got taken. Things had to get drastic.
Things were just never like that for us.
Because my husband's like, I know you, it's like, my husband's like, I know you wish the kids never got taken and stuff, and this never happened. And it's very embarrassing to have your kids taken too, because I know my brothers and sisters are just making fun of me that I lost my kids and stuff like that.
I can't imagine.
People are making fun of us because we lost our kids. They didn't lose their kids. I lost my kids. But my husband's like,
that's wrong.
My husband's like, I wouldn't have been this spiritual had I not lost him, though. Like we had to go through this heavy trial to get us spiritually this ready for what's about to come. If Ezra's eagle plays out, everybody's got to get ready for what's going to happen. The stars in the skies are going to change. Things are going to happen that are on miracle levels that are going to point towards the end times.
Well, it'll apparently be something we can't stop and fascinating to watch.
Oh, yeah. My husband says it's going to be beautiful because the planets are going to align differently and everything, and we're going to be able to see like Venus and stuff, and things are going to align differently, and just be ready for it. Or because the Bible says if you're not ready for it, your heart will fail. Because
I'm ready for anything. I mean, anything. And so look how my mom went.
Yeah, my husband's worried about how many people's hearts are going to fail when these changes start happening. The first sign,
not worried about mine.
The first sign, though, that we need to watch out for is, does Ezra's eagle come true? If Ezra's eagle comes true.
And what it for chat is Ezra's eagle.
We're on the road for the Antichrist after that.
And what is, can you
Ezra's
give like
eagle?
the detail?
So Ezra's eagle, okay. Ezra had this dream. Ezra had this dream of these beasts that came out of the sea. There was 4 of them. Each one represents a country. The last one to come out of the sea was an eagle. And it represented, everybody thought at one time it represented Rome. People were looking at Rome. So on the left side of the eagle's
at one point during World War II, they thought it was Germany as well because
they did. They thought that Germany was the superpower. But the funny thing is, it's an eagle. Of course, it's America. Well, what happened is the feathers is what tells you what country it is. The first feather is Hoover. Is it? Or who was before Hoover? Let's see. Let me get a picture of Ezra's eagle up. Hold on, so I can do. Let me pull up a picture of Ezra's eagle, and I will show you guys Ezra's eagle real quick, because it's going to be hard to explain to you unless I show you. I'm going to show you. Let me show you what we're talking about, because it's going to be easier if I just
I'll be
pull
right
it
back.
up. Okay. Okay, so this is a good one. Let's see. Okay, so whoops. Okay. Let me pull up images. Yeah, images. Oops. Ezra's eagle. Share this tab. Let's see. Trying to pull up the picture of the eagle. I'm like, I want that picture right there. That's a good picture of what I'm talking about. View image. There we go. Because this is what I want to talk about, is this picture right here. Okay, so each of these feathers, yeah, it starts with Hoover. And so each of these feathers, how long each feather is, tells you it tells you the term of the president. If it is a normal feather, they will serve their normal 4-year term. If it is longer, it's because they served longer than their regular term. If it is cut in half, it's called a contrary feather. It means the deep state interrupted their presidency. So you start with Hoover. And why do you start with Hoover? Michael Rush explains to you that Hoover is the one, if you look it up, he started the deep state. It wasn't called that back when he was president. He started something else. Hoover put this plan into action when he was a founding member. I'll have to look what he was a founding member of, but that's why Hoover is the first feather. The second feather.
CIA?
No.
Was he-
It was
no?
it was some international thing.
different.
It was some international thing.
NATO?
No, no. Let's see. Hoover, founding member of something international. Let me see. What was it? In the United States. And so that's why it starts with Hoover, because he was some kind of founding member of something. And then
Oh.
okay, and then the
tablet.
next president was Roosevelt. And because of war, he served a 4-year term. He served 4 terms. They kept putting him back in as president because in wartime, we don't vote for a president if we are in the middle of a big war.
That's correct.
But 3 months into his 4-year term, he died. And then after Roosevelt, they said nobody else ever serves a term like this ever again. 2 years, you're done. Nobody goes over a 2-year mark, because our founding fathers set it up this way so that we never had a king or a dictator or somebody that gained too much power. And then you can see that it's Truman, Eisenhower, and then there's a contrary feather down there, and that's Kennedy. Why? Because the deep state had him assassinated. We all know that it wasn't just a regular person that decided to assassinate Kennedy. Everybody knows the deep state did that. And then you have Johnson, and then Nixon is the next contrary feather. Nixon resigned because the deep state was petty. Because all Nixon did was have people, they wanted him to be reelected so badly that they spied on the Democrats. The Democrats got upset, found out about it, They use that to shame Nixon and make him resign. So you can see right there, there's two examples of how the deep state has taken out two presidents, either by resignation or by unaliving or, by impeachment or something. And then you have Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, was it Obama, Trump? So right here, so that's this wing. That's that wing. If you look at the other wing, there's nothing but contrary feathers. Yeah, 2 terms. So there's nothing but contrary feathers. I kind of mentioned this to Chewy a month ago, but I never showed it to him. And so we don't know who these 4 contrary feathers are. We're guessing that Trump might be one. Biden is probably one because they're the 2 running for president right now. With those,
Biden's not.
Yeah,
Kamala
he's not
is.
anymore. Yeah, this is an old picture because now it's not updated to Kamala's there. So what it is these 2 other contrary feathers. So when these 2 get taken out, there's going to be another feather that steps up. They have it in their heart to rule. They think that they're going to rule, but they will be taken out by the deep state. Next person will have it in their heart. There's a difference in the translation. It's heart or head. They have it in their heart and mind to rule. They think, I'm going to be the next president. I'm going to rule. But that's when the eagle heads wake up. They start watching from the background. The top eagle head, I think, is the Antichrist is after the 3 eagle heads get taken out. So we're going to watch 4 contrary feathers over the next few months play out. These guys are not going to make it to the next term of president. And then the eagle heads will take over. They will come in from the deep state and take over as president. I'm probably not explaining this perfectly. Like I said, Michael Rush and my husband can explain this better. But these eagle heads,
No, you're doing fine.
they're going to take each other out. So all 3 of them are going to die. That's when the Antichrist steps up. That's when he will be a smooth talker.
But
he
they
will
have to
create
die
miracles.
first?
Yes, one will die. The second eagle head right here, the second brown one, will die. It's actually prophesied that they will die in their bed painfully or something, mysteriously. Like there's an exact prophecy to one of their deaths. We almost thought it was coming true like a couple of weeks ago when they were hiding Biden just before they announced Kamala, and they were saying Biden was at his home and he was sick. We're like, oh my God, are they taking out Biden? Are they taking out Biden?
No, he just had COVID.
What I think they're doing, I think they're keeping Biden alive long enough while he's useful. If he keeps carrying around that red Trump hat, the deep state might just take him out. If he doesn't put that red hat down, they're like, Biden, what are you doing with a hat, with a Trump hat?
It was a joke. He did it. It was a joke.
They're like,
He's
Biden,
quite
you're
the character.
He's
He's
like,
funny.
Biden, you're making things look bad. You
Oh yeah, he no doubt he makes himself look like a dumbass sometimes, but he's not near as off kilter as everybody thinks he is. He is quite the comedian.
But my husband.
I don't need a comedian in the White House. I need a freaking president. I don't need an asshole in the White House. I need a president. I need somebody that's going to do the job.
Gods like Zeus and Poseidon. Yeah. I love the Greek gods. I do.
My husband is obsessed with Greek mythology. Always
That's
has
what
been.
makes it hard for me to be LDS is because I'm like, well, What if the Greek gods are true? I tell my husband, I'm like, what if the Greek gods are real?
How does anybody know who's right?
I know.
That's why
Well,
not
like you
just
said,
go ahead and believe
just
if
follow
you're good
that.
to
Just
people.
follow that Holy Spirit. Have morals, have ethics, have integrity.
Thank you.
Follow that Holy Spirit.
I don't do that, but I don't think that I'm going to be punished in any way.
That's why, like, yeah, don't. That's why
You
I try
know?
not to lie. I try not to do anything bad. I try not to hurt other people. I try to love other
Right.
people, no matter what. Like I said, I don't hate Gypsy Rose. Yes, I'm pointing out things she's doing wrong. In a way, that's gossiping and that's wrong. But like, I'm glad we're kind of changing our channel away from the gossiping and everything. But I mean, I am
because I know that that bothers you.
I am putting Fancy a little bit on blast for what she is
Well,
doing
that's
to
different.
Sarah is wrong.
Right.
What she is doing is very wrong.
You're calling something out. You're not gossiping. You're
Well,
calling out an indignation.
She is legally punishing somebody horribly for something they didn't do.
That's sad. Yeah, that's not right.
I wish I could. I knew how to get a hold of Sarah and find her and be like, come on our platform where we just want to chat. Literally, we just want to chat with you, and I want to hear more of Sarah's thoughts inside. I've been on like Sarah's side this whole time. Like, I wondered what her police report says because she never said chest bump. I watched the video when they were saying chest bump.
I'm not familiar with any of what that is.
I am, because when Fancy started calling out this chest bump, I'm like, bull crap, because Sarah said like to chest bump, and she put her hands close to her chest, and she motioned. He stood up and came this close to me, you know, and she said I had to stumble back, but really she just stepped back. You can see it in the video. She just stepped back. If you go to the cutting board, she shows the video. I'm so excited Dawn showed up on my stream today. I've been making comments on her stream and everything lately, and I told her she wants to talk about some of the cases in Utah. I'm in Utah. I come from a Utah perspective. I said we could talk about the Ruby Franken stuff, because they're talking about DCFS, and our system is so corrupt here in legal kidnapping happens all the time. Well, they had a right though to take Ruby's kids, and I think that they should give him back to the husband if he does want him, because he is the father. But I think he needs some education and some help, and he needs to get away from those people, because why they took him away for a year and he was okay with being away from his wife, and nobody could take my husband away from me and my kids and make him live in a different home. Nobody could come in this home and tell my husband to go live somewhere else, and they move in my home and they take care of me and my children. No, my husband would be like, no. This is my home. I take care of my wife and children. It's like nobody's going to tell him to step out. So that's the only thing I don't get is why did Ruby Frank's husband step out? Like, he wasn't part of the starving the kids and everything. That was all Ruby and what's her name, and it had nothing to do with the husband, although he was a wuss and stayed out for a year and let that happen. But I do fault the husband though, because they did have some odd ways of punishing their children prior to their children getting taken. And so that's why I said maybe he needs some education. Because they did have some weird, odd, like taking away their kid's room for 7 months. That's odd. Oh, I just noticed 13th hour, she died. She went away. But yeah, I know he's LDS, Michael Rush explains this really, really well. Let's see, YouTube. A lot of LDS people look up to Michael Rush. Oh, let's not even get into aliens. Oh my gosh. It turns out aliens are part of everything too. They're in the Bible. They're called some of them are called watchers. They talk about watchers in the Bible. They're aliens. Like when you get into deep doctrine, be prepared for Michael Rush. See, End Times Ezra's Eagle Update 2022. He did this one a year ago. He's been watching Ezra's Eagle for a couple of years, for like 3 or 4 years now. Michael Rush has been watching he's been watching Ezra's Eagle to see if it plays out for a couple of years now. You know, I could probably get my husband to come on the podcast from his tablet or something where he could just be a picture like me and he's not on camera. He probably might feel more comfortable that way. But yeah, if you want to see what my husband's watching and get it from LDS Mormon perspective, Michael Rush is one of the people he's watching. Glenn Beck just caught on to Ezra's Eagle. Glenn Beck, a month ago, just found out about Ezra's Eagle. Glenn Beck is LDS also, and he featured Michael Rush on his podcast last week because Glenn Beck just was like, what? Ezra's Eagle? He's like, wait a second, hold the phone. And so, yes, Rush Limbaugh is now covering both the Rushes, or Glenn Beck, sorry. No, I mean Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck and Michael Rush are doing podcasts together right now. But yeah, I will definitely, as soon as I get done here, I will talk to my husband. I will get him on here for you guys, and we can go over. You guys have a moment to ask a patriarchal LDS guy questions, and one that doesn't take the my woman is my slave kind of attitude. Where we have an equal marriage, we have equality. We don't make big decisions or anything without each other. We don't. My husband just doesn't go make a decision and be like, "Well, I'm the head of the household." It's like, no. I have a mind of it. That's why he lets me. Well, he didn't. He doesn't let me. Like, it's not like, oh, I have to have his permission to have this stream. I told him I wanted to stream, and he said, "Okay, I support you. If that's what you want to do, if that's your goal, your dream, what you want to do, I support you." Because I have hobbies, talents. I have a mind of my own. I have my own things I want to do, and he says, "Okay, I support you." It's not like I have to ask his permission. I don't. But oh my gosh. Oh, there's like the rabbit hole goes so deep when you start talking about I thought the end times was pretty simple. Most people believe in there's going to be earthquakes and fires and tsunamis and natural disasters going on, and then there'll be like corruption and antichrist, and then there'll be like a rapture, and then but that's all like that's not how it goes down. There's so much deep doctrine into how it goes down. It's the way the second coming comes around. It's so much more complicated than that. Because like I said, we haven't even talked about watchers and aliens and anything like that. We haven't gotten into anything like that. It's like the second coming there's so much prophecy on it. There's so much. And my husband says the rapture is after the 1,000-year reign, after the 1,000 years with Christ. So according to his opinion, the way he reads the doctrine, because my mom thinks the rapture comes prior. But my husband's like, no, the rapture is so much later. And Chad Daybell has gone off his rocker when talking about the 144. I was going to talk about that the other day, about the 144 and what is the 144 and what does it mean to be transfigured or something? What did he say Lori Vallow was? He said she was oh crap, I'd have to ask my husband what he said. What was that? Something. Anyways, yeah, that she was a transfigured being. Because the 144 will be transfigured beings. And those are a sign of the end times. But we're still we're still a little ways out from that happening. We're still a little ways out. Like I said, Ezra's eagle, I think, is one of the first things that needs to play out right now. Is Ezra's eagle. I wonder what 13th Hour thinks of aliens. We'll have to maybe talk next stream about aliens. Aliens. Well, it's getting to 11 o'clock. But I will talk to my husband. I will get him on stream, guys. And let you guys ask him questions and whatnot, and we'll talk about this. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining me tonight. I loved all your guys' comments, and sorry my camera's not working, everything. Give me a minute. Let me get through the weekend. I got my kids coming on Sunday and everything, and then I'll get through the weekend, and I'll get StreamYards paid for, and I'll hopefully get it straightened out with my camera and my mic and everything, and see what features come with it. And happy birthday, 13th Hour. Love you guys. All right. No, I'm going to call it. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later, and thank you, Dawn, for coming on and saying hi. I love it. We watch your channel. We love you, Dawn, over here. People come on my stream all the time and be like, have you seen Dawn's new video? And it's like, yes, let's talk about it together, guys. Yeah, I'll talk to you on Discord, Chewies. But love you guys. All right. Boom, boom.